Welcome back to my channel, Scribes. It is day 8, and I am going for a bit of a walk to clear my head. Now, if you think that these walks are completely pointless, you have not taken a walk to clear your head of a story detail that you needed to get unstuck from. Later on that same night, I went home and actually told my boyfriend about everything that I had come up with during that walk and how I was going to use it to set up and pay off some things while adding to my story in really great ways.
The moment he meets the woman that's gonna like completely shatter his heart, I ended up discovery writing a little bit, figuring out details as I go along. And so basically when I got to his family's business and him sort of taking it on for his dad, I was like, ooh, I could connect the dots here.
In doing these vlogs, I've kind of realized that I plot so much, but I struggle with characters during the writing process. So in this session, I'm connecting those dots and I'm creating a backstory. I'm fulfilling the arc and I'm using some dedicated flaws that I've already picked for my characters to create these little threads that I'm going to pull on later on.
This year could be the year where when he gets caught up in the scandal with this woman that he just met, he's going to get caught up in a scandal with her. And what would be interesting to connect the two stories together between like Anne-Marie, my main character, and Nathaniel Ambrose, he could be actually like a lone crewman.
Basically start to fill in the vague backgrounds of my main characters. I'm starting to now kind of connect the main characters to each other prior to meeting. When your audience sort of knows a little bit more, or your main characters know that they're even connected, it sort of builds the anticipation.
Company. Which
did that happen? Like learning to the...
My pre-revision notes on the side say, look into this, and also like add detail to it.
I've started to make these notes in my notes section of Scrivener that are pre-revision notes. They basically tell me to go back into a specific area and fix something that I don't want to take the time out of my day to do right now. So basically explaining my story helps me find those errors in the plot holes, inconsistencies, and basically put better research into areas that I did not put that much thought into.
And then I was thinking, okay, I'm gonna make Nathaniel he's gonna be landed gentry, so he obviously, because he's landed gentry, he has money.
So reading a bunch of books beforehand in my genre really reminded me of the tropes that I wanted to avoid. So I ended up making my main character landed gentry, someone who worked for his position in life, someone who worked for the land he owned by building a business, instead of just automatically being a duke.
It'll be fun because my girl she's titled, so it would be really nice twist. He truly loves her before he even knows she has a title and thinks that she's kind of like some maid on the run who's in trouble. It's perfect.
Okay, Scribes, I'm getting really real here. I'm showing you all of the mess, all of the laundry, all of the chaos that I have let build up over the week because lately I've been trying to focus on catching up on words every single day. So there are some days and stretches where I am not meal planning, I am not cleaning the cables up as I'm supposed to be. So today I have taken this day to really just push aside the writing and focus on cleaning the house so it doesn't drive me so crazy. I do have the help of my wonderful boyfriend who did all of the dishes while I cleaned up the other mess in the house. And of course, I still have to edit my vlog. I try my best to insert anything that could be important for you to know or that could maybe help you with your process. And that is the point of this channel, just to help you build yourself as a writer as I am building myself as a writer. I truly only edit these videos for you, Scribes. I'm behind again on my word count. It's becoming a pattern that on the weekends I lose complete and utter control of myself and I am not getting things done. So today there's a regional write-in. I will be going and showing up to do some hours of writing. I do have to go get an oil change first, but Scary Ned likes to say scary things. Still writing that novel is one of the scary things that he likes to say, and yes, Scary Ned, I'm still writing that novel. I wrote about 1,700 words today, which, to be fair, is much more than I've written the whole weekend. So a win is a win. So basically, I got some writing done this morning, but it was actually for the feature film that I'm working on with my friend. I just wanted to outline some other extra stuff because I've been slacking on that, and I know that he's pretty much waiting on me to help out, and we've been so busy, so writing month at the same time is a little bit crazy, but you know, challenging and fun. So I was able to kind of sketch out, we're at the third act that we're outlining, so I was able to sketch out a little bit of that, and I had to look up some references like Mr. Robot and stuff, so I was kind of interested in doing that. So I basically had some research for the feature film, and then I'm gonna be heading out down to where I used to live to go write with my writing group down there at the coffee shop there that I love. So I'm gonna be going to write a little bit later for my novel. This is just the sort of timeline that I've got going on for myself. So I've got to make up like 4,000 words today. I don't know how I'm gonna do that, but I'm gonna try to do my best. And anyways, my brilliant friend has had short films go to the film festivals such as like Atlanta Film Festival and a few other like LA ones and different ones around the United States. Last Option, which he wrote with another really great writer friend of mine. The newest one that he's working on is called Heart to See. So I want you guys to support other creative artists that I know and I love, so yeah. Okay, so another crazy quick thing to talk about. I was talking with my boyfriend last night and I was like, you know, I'm kind of at this weird spot where like my character doesn't feel kind of, I don't know if I'm writing my male character from necessarily the best perspective. Like I feel like I'm putting too much like womanly emphasis in his character. And it sounds kind of weird, but like a little, like too much feminine energy. Like too perfect of a man, too like feely and I know that there's some guys in historical romances who they have that romantic vibe, but I felt like I was missing a little bit more of like the sort of masculinity that should be a little more evident in him. So my boyfriend was like, well, how much experience has he had with other women? What is exactly his history looking like? And I thought to myself, I don't know. You're right, because depending on his history, the way that he speaks, his dialogue, his attitude, his perspectives would be completely different. And so I realized that now I have to think that through and then maybe go back and change some of the dialogue to match his experience level with women and his history. How many times has he been rejected, or how many times has he had a full relationship? What did a relationship look like for him? And then I have to put that in historical context, because very different. They were good questions. They were just questions that like make me so angry, because then I have to go back and do a bunch more thinking through of things and developing of my characters. But to be fair, when I write my outlines, I know that I am outlining rigorously. I know I'm outlining rigorously the plot, not necessarily the story, which is more of the internal arc. What happens as a result of the plot for the story is completely coming from here as I write it. Okay, Scribes, I've made it to the coffee shop. I am going to get some writing in. I anticipate that I have to write about 5,000 words, which I know you might be thinking is a little out of my reach. And you're pretty right. Yeah, it's a lot. But if I don't attempt it, I'll never know how many words I can write in a day or what my limit is. I actually forgot that I had a Disney creative career conversation that was through UCLA when I graduated with my certificate in feature film writing. They send me emails now about certain types of Zoom seminars that they have to help us with our creative career. It was highly informative. I have so many notes. Everything that Mr. Bravo mentioned was in a book called The Executive Chair. So if you're interested in being a TV writer, I threw it in the chat at this event. I am going to make a video about this soon. I have been planning on it. It's a must read if you don't know very much about how the studio business works, how they source their writers, and how to become a TV writer in a staff position. So I hope you stick around on my channel to find out more about this book, The Executive Chair. This kind of has like the dramaticness that I want.
The time has come, my friend turned in on me. No escaping darkness, you should have known. I know my friend turned foe. At least I'll die.
I'm getting to the good part. Like, she's gonna do some damage, and I'm excited. Okay, all right, just write the thing. As I did some writing, I also listened in on a talk from showrunner and writer of Pachinko.
Is first analyzing the source material's adaptability. So what was the biggest challenge for you with Pachinko, or if you want the short story, and what was the biggest challenge and the biggest strength that you saw in the material?
I didn't really know the specific history that well. I was really unfamiliar with the Zainichi history of the Koreans in Japan. And it's, you know, as cheesy it is, it really is one of those shower moments where you're in the shower and you have that eureka moment. And it really, I mean, it's amazing how things like that happen. But I was in the shower and I was like, I don't think you can do it. Because I really felt like if you told the book faithfully, I just don't know how it would work on a television format. And then in the shower, I realized, wait a minute, what if you didn't tell it chronologically? What if you did a past and present storyline, and you did the story of two generations, the first generation, the Sunja generation, and then you also tell the story of her grandson, and you cross-cut between those two time periods. And it's one of those things that once you get an idea about that, that is the cracking the spine. It's like, all of a sudden, I saw the show in my head. And once I saw the show in my head, then after that, it feels so much more like, it's just so much more refreshing to be able to work that way.
Yeah, absolutely. The same thing for me. I don't have the shower moment. I have the washing dishes moment.
Yeah.
Like, my best idea is washing dishes, and somebody came to my house one day after a dinner party and said, "Don't you want to get a dishwasher?" I'm like, "No. This is where I get my best ideas from here."
Day 13, I went in super pumped with my Starbucks gingerbread oatmeal chai with a shot of espresso, but ultimately I was pretty stuck, and I ended up making these little folders under my characters section where I started to group all of these new characters that I was creating and writing down exactly who they were. Every time I would create a new character, I would also immediately write down their relationship to the character, or who they were, what their job position was, so that I could remember pretty quickly if I was going further into the book, into Act 2, and wanted to bring them back up to close up some threads later on. I've also been copying some of their more relevant dialogue, so I can remember it's important to bring it back later. And then later on, when I'm in the chapter, if they're relevant to the chapter, I can actually drag their name and their character card into the bookmark section. But why was I so stuck, you ask? Because the real question remained, who brought them? I wrote myself into a corner. I introduced a detail that I could not back up with additional detail, and I had to go on a whole crazy, weird whirlwind research moment, and then realized it really wasn't that important, so I could be pretty vague to get myself out of it. For this vlog, I've got 6,686 words in. I will see you next week, Scribes.